All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to paint our mittens that we made last class. Okay, so last class we colored these with, does anybody remember what it was called that we...
Mittens.
Yes, they're mittens. Does anybody remember what these crayons were called? Close.
Oil.
They were oil what?
Oil crayons.
Close.
Oil paint. Oil paint.
Oil pastels. They are oil paint pushed and squished into crayons. And they got us a little greasy. So we're going to paint our winter mittens today. We're going to use temper paint cakes. So what these are temper paint, like the wet temper paint. Let me see if I can pull one of these up. They might be stuck. That are pushed and squished into little cakes, or I think of them as like little soaps. Okay, so they're dry to the touch as long as they're dried out and somebody hasn't been using them. You're going to use any and every color except white today, because our paper is white. We don't need white. Okay. So, can you still see me on the screen there, Callie? Can you look? Can you see this? Okay, perfect. So, first thing we're going to do is wet our paintbrush. And when we are painting, there's a few things to remember. When we wipe our paintbrush, the extra water off, we wipe it on the side. We do not Why do we not tap our paintbrush like a crazy person? Raise your hand. Because it'll get all over you and all over your artwork and all over the people around you. Plus, if you look at my brush, it doesn't look so hot, huh? Looks kind of rough. So you just wipe the extra paint off.
Like this? Yeah, slowly.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put paint, or I'm sorry, water.
Mrs. Shartle?
Yes.
Can you dismiss Thaddeus, please?
Sure. Goodbye, honey.
Go down.
So I'm going to add water to each one of these paints to get them started, kind of like watercolor. Okay? Next, I can start painting. When I put my brush on the paint, I want to make sure that I'm kind of dancing it on the paint. And I'll show you what I mean by that. I don't want to be digging in. So I'm dancing it on, can you see on the screen, Callie? You're going to tell me if I can't see. Can you see? Okay. Dancing it on the top of my brush. I'm not digging it in. I'm going to dance it. We're going to put our scratch paper underneath our mitten. And then we can use our paint, go right over top of our oil pastel. So remember, I had you put some white, some secret white on there last time. So now I can see my secret white. Clean out my brush. I'm going to swirl it at the bottom and wipe the extra water off. Remember, not tapping, wiping.
I did that.
And let's go with, I'm going to do yellow. Dance it, swirl it, like so. I'm going to go ahead and do this part yellow. And I'm going to do this part yellow. And I'm going to clean out my brush. And then maybe I do this
Purple.
pinky purple. This is a purple. This is more like a pink. In here. Dance it. And in here. Now remember how I said it was really important that we close this up? As long as we closed up our lines, the watercolor should stay in that spot if I don't put the paint outside of my area. If I accidentally put it in an area outside of where it's supposed to go, it will color bleed out. Okay? And if it does, it's not a big deal. But that's not what we were trying to achieve there. So I think I have magic ones here. Let's go with turquoise.
Blue.
they?
I
Not
can't.
today. They're going to be wet.
I couldn't see it from over there.
So when I do this, I could paint them all green, or I could paint this green, this green, this green, this green.
Mrs. Charlie, you can clean the paint off your table.
I'm going to do this dark blue here. Maybe I do dark blue here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and maybe here. Oops. Maybe here. Now maybe I go to purple. Purple, 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 purple. And I would do this to all of them. Switch my color and continue on. Now I could paint this whole area one color, or I could do like orange, green, or I could do just the in-between of these stripes, purple. And the other stripes, let's do red. Have I used red yet? I haven't.
No.
Red.
Very cool. Oh.
All right, when we are done painting, let's pretend that I'm done. And if you didn't finish your pattern, that's okay. If you have like a blank area, just paint it. Just paint it. Paint it a color. It doesn't matter that there's not oil pastel in it. You're going to paint it a color and make it look real nice and pretty, colorful and bright. When you are done, let's pretend that I am. I'm going to put this on my paper, and I am going to put it on the drying rack. Now, Mrs. Chartle's already pulled out a rack for you, so you can put it there. When it is time to clean up, boys, or I have a couple sets that are not boys, but if you are a water person, you're going to take this and carry it into sink 1 and set it down. Don't dump it out. You're just going to set it straight down. Okay? If you are a paint person, you are going to carry this nice and flat, like a cake, go over to counter 2 and lay it out. All right? Our tables, if they're wet, we'll get paper towels and dry them off, but other than that, we're not wiping them down. Our hands, look at my hands, they shouldn't be dirty because we're touching the paintbrush, not the paint. Right?
Yeah.
Okay? Any questions? Can you press the red button on that screen there, honey?
That red